Hi everyone, and welcome to a short presentation on oral language feedback and error correction prepared November 2016. We are learning to identify the different types of feedback we provide to students who are learning a partner language and to differentiate, compare, and contrast the different levels of effectiveness of the feedback we provide. So let's start. Teachers and parents have a responsibility to help children grow in the ways they construct and communicate meaning. One of the ways we do this is in helping children to develop different uses of language for different purposes, and through this process we help students to develop registers of language for academic, social, and other specific purposes. As adults, we are often in the position to influence language use and language choice of our children and students. And ultimately, we give lots of direct and indirect feedback to children about their language use, and we should continue to do this with some knowledge in mind. There are many ways to provide feedback to students on their language. However, not all of the ways we provide feedback are as effective as some of the ways. First and foremost, the purpose of language is to communicate meaning, and this should be at the forefront of any interaction, even when engaging in error correction of oral language. As Bill Gates says, we all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. So let's start out with recasting. Not surprisingly, we instinctively correct students and each other most frequently by recasting. A recast is when a teacher or an adult repeats a child's use of language, replacing the error for the standard use. A recast sounds like this. Student, I want to drink me some water. Teacher, I want to drink some water. Student sometimes repeats, sometimes says nothing, sometimes stomps off. Recasting has been found to be the most frequent type of error correction, but unfortunately it is the most widely accepted and ineffective type of feedback on oral language errors. Try doing recasting with your own children when you're getting them to speak Spanish and see how effective it is. The next type of correction is called error correction. This is a common type of feedback for oral language error correction. The adult in this case tells the child how to correct the error. Error correction sounds like this. Student, I want to drink me some water. Teacher, you should say want to drink instead of want to drink me. Student says nothing, may repeat back, or may stomp off angry. Also very effective at dinner time. The next type of error is repetition. Repetition of the error is another type of feedback that we often offer students. Repetition intends to highlight the error for the child to signify a problem, as well as prompt an opportunity to self-correct. Repetition may offer a child a prompt to self-correct. However, if the student does not have the skill, this feedback could be construed as mockery of home language register. Repetition sounds like this. Student, I want to drink me some water. Teacher, want to drink me? Student, the response could vary. They could say, want to drink me? They could say, whatever, teacher, you know what I mean? They could say, forget it, I'm not going to participate. There are a variety of responses. The next type of feedback is called elicitation. Elicitation uses a part of the child's speech to prompt self-correction and repetition of the standard register or standard form. Elicitation sounds like this. Student, I want to drink me some water. Teacher, I want to... The student finishes the sentences by saying, drink some water. This type of feedback is one of the most more effective pieces of feedback because it prompts the student to finish a sentence, and as language is socially constructed, the student is prompted to want to continue to interact and doesn't feel that there's been a judgment made about his language. So typically what we refer to that as is the student pitches the ball back to you. You pitch it to the student, they pitch it back. That's the kind of back and forth interaction that you always want to get in any kind of feedback that you give a child. That you cast the ball, they hit it where they can, and they send it back to you. The next type of feedback is called metalinguistic feedback. Metalinguistic feedback is very similar to error correction, except that it presents the reason why. The teacher may provide information about why the error the student is making is incorrect, as well as how they can use the language differently. Metalinguistic feedback sounds like this. Student: I want to drink me some water. Teacher: we don't say drink me as in I drink myself. Rather, we say drink water because water is the thing or the direct object you want to drink. Student response: well, it can be varied. If a teacher elicits a prompt like I want to, such as in elicitation, you may actually get a student to provide the correct form or the standard form. If we do nothing, the student response could vary, including stomping off angry, not responding, or simply repeating himself, I want to drink me some water. The next strategy is called denial. Denial is when an adult tells a child that their language use is incorrect. The purpose may be to correct an error, but it often results in some kind of shaming. Denial sounds like this. Student: I want to drink me some water. Teacher: that's not how we say it. The student has a varied response. At some time in our careers, if we reflect back, there's been a time when all of us have done this. I can remember very specifically doing this with my students who would say things like asina and correcting them to say asi. I now know what I didn't know then about different forms of the Spanish language coming from very, very rural areas, and the impact that it had on my students to correct their asina in the way that I did, basically by using denial, had the effect of potentially making a child feel ashamed of their language and the language of their parents rather than helping them to produce whatever the target was of that day. The next type of error correction is called ignorance. Ignorance is when there is a nonverbal error correction. For example, ignorance is when a child makes an error and the adult does nothing. There may be a lot of reasons to do nothing. For example, if the meaning that the child is giving you is more important than the form, if the child's taking an academic risk or is so excited about communicating the ideas that it may be inappropriate to give feedback. However, other times ignorance reflects a need to develop more skill in or adjusted beliefs about oral language feedback. Ignorance in dual language classrooms often sound like this. Student: I want to drink me some water. Teacher: Uy, qué rico, vamos a ir a tomar agua, yo también tengo sed. Ignorance has the impact of allowing the child to pretty much get away without doing the heavy lifting of language learning, which is why it's a really fine line when you do choose to ignore language. Let me present to you another strategy that you could think of. Ta-da! Bilingual pairs. So bilingual pairs is leveraging the classmates to help the student to produce the target language in a way that is culturally responsive and linguistically responsive. So a bilingual pair interaction looks like this. Student: I want to drink me some water. Teacher: Kaylee, ¿puedes hablar con tu pareja bilingüe? Ahorita vuelvo contigo para que me pidas en español. Student to the bilingual pair says, how do you say I want to drink me some water? Bilingual pair to student: Quiero tomar agua. Teacher: Kaylee, ¿tienes algo que pedirme? Student: Quiero tomar agua. Uy, qué rico, vamos a ir a tomar agua, yo tengo sed también. The impact here is that you still have the requirement that the student produce the target language. The student has been able to resource another child to support their learning, which helps our children to become multicultural and globally competent. And it also reinforces the expectation with the supports that a child can be successful in learning their partner language. So your turn. What kind of error correction are you hearing? Let's see. I want to drink me some water. Great, let's go get some right now. I'm thirsty too. Or sí, qué rico, vamos a ir a tomarlo. Please write in the space number 1 the type of error that you heard. Again, I want to drink me some water. Great, let's go get some now. I'm thirsty too. Or, uy, qué rico, vamos a ir a tomar agua. Yo también tengo sed. Number 2. I want to drink me some water. Kaylee, ¿puedes hablar con tu pareja bilingüe? Ahorita vuelvo contigo para que me pidas en español. How do you say I want to drink some water? Quiero tomar agua. Kaylee, ¿tienes algo que quieres pedirme? Quiero tomar agua. ¡Uy, qué rico! Vamos a ir a tomar agua. Yo tengo sed también. Number 3. I want to drink me some water. I want to drink some water. Let's repeat that one. Number 3. I want to drink me some water. I want to drink some water. Number 4. I want to drink me some water. We don't say drink me as in I want to drink myself. Rather, we say I want to drink water because the thing that we want to drink is the water. It's the direct object. Number 5. I want to drink me some water. I want to, drink some water. Again, number 5. I want to drink me some water. I want to drink some water. And number 6. I want to drink me some water. Want to drink me? Again. I want to drink me some water. Want to drink me? Well, let's see how you did. Number 1, did you pick ignorance? How about bilingual pair for number 2? Recast for number 3? Metalinguistic feedback for number 4? Number 5, elicitation, and number 6, repetition. Thanks for joining this very short PD.